A single shift in perspective completely changed my life. I mean, I went from feeling stuck and ashamed to feeling empowered, grateful, and abundant. And it all started with food stamps. Hi, I'm Kayla Moore, and welcome to Enchant Your Life. I teach women creative and spiritual practices to help them live a confident and empowered life, to help them live that life that feels fulfilled and magical. And today, I want to share with you a true story about one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned about perspective and manifestation. Many moons ago, when my daughter was a baby, I made the decision to become a stay-at-home mom. I saved up some money and I quit my job and I stayed at home with her for a while. And within a year, my money that I saved up had dwindled down to almost nothing. I totally underestimated how much it would cost to stay home and be with my daughter. And I needed help really fast. I spoke to one of my wise friends and she told me that I should get food stamps. I was like, no, thank you, girl. What I look like going in line for some food stamps. And I completely resisted it because I was ashamed. I was ashamed that, first of all, I didn't save enough money. I was ashamed to even use food stamps because I thought that people on food stamps were taking advantage of the system. And I just refused. Until one day, I saw a sermon by T.D. Jakes on TV, and he talked about seeing your situation in a different way, seeing the blessings from the situation and appreciating it instead of seeing the negativity in the situation that you're in. And after that sermon, something clicked inside of me. My heart changed, my soul shifted, and I changed my perspective on food stamps. I was able to see it as a blessing. Food stamps to me were a wonderful way that this country put a system together so that people would not starve to death. Families wouldn't go hungry like that. And so I changed my perspective on it and I went and stood in that food stamps line with gratitude and appreciation for this system that was put in place for people who needed help. I realized that I was a taxpayer who contributed to that system, not someone just taking from society. I was receiving support during a season I genuinely needed help. The shame disappeared. There was no guilt. There was pure gratitude. Now here's the interesting part. This is the law of attraction part that I love talking about. So before this shift happened, I was a ball of resistance. I was looking for a job for months and months and months, and I could not find a job. But then when the shift happened and I released all this resistance I was carrying, all this guilt and shame and embarrassment, I let all of that go. I got the food stamps and I had no resistance. I actually stopped looking so hard for another job. I was taking my time, and when I felt like it, when I had a few minutes here and there, I would look, but it was not, you know how looking for a job can be a job in and of itself? I did not do that at that point because I just felt better. I didn't feel desperate. And you know what happened? Just as I can't even speak. Just like law of attraction would have it, once you release resistance and you allow what God has in store for you, it will come in and it will come in fast. So what happened was a friend of mine recommended a job to me. She referred a job to me that was right up my alley, that was perfect for me, and it was part-time. So I was able to ease back into the workforce just with ease. And I got the job. I made more money than I expected. I had enough money to have an abundance of food. I could buy whatever we wanted to eat and more. And I actually, I appreciated the food stamps. I didn't even want it to go. But because I had all that money, I had to release the food stamps with appreciation and love. And I was able to support my family and feel good. And all of that happened because of me releasing resistance. Okay, what you focus on grows, and what you resist persists. Remember that is law of attraction at work. So, did the food stamps create that job magically? No. Did my circumstances change overnight? Absolutely not. What did change was my perspective, my beliefs, and my expectations. My relationship with the situation changed, and life began to reflect that change right back to me, like a mirror. And that's why I believe that manifestations often begin with beliefs. When you change your beliefs about a situation, you change the energy you bring to that situation. And when you change that energy, you allow different opportunities that weren't there before to be able to come to you. And if you're understanding what I'm saying, put a heart in the chat right now. If this message resonates with you, I'm hosting another special Zoom gathering on Sunday, June 28th at 2 p.m. It's called Change the Way You Look at Things and Watch Your Life Change. We'll dive deeper into perspectives, beliefs, manifestation, and ways you can shift your life to have a completely new experience. The registration link is in the description, and I would love to see you there. So remember, your life can change with a simple shift in perspective. The situation doesn't have to shift immediately. In fact, it probably won't shift immediately. But once you start seeing yourself, other people, or the situation differently, you begin to experience different things, different doors open, different opportunities open to you. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and share with anybody that you think needs to hear this message. I love you. Stay enchanted, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.